Hello, I am Super Orange Cat here. I'm today with an omnibus of news from Toonami over this past week, the first week of 2020. Now, because of all the holidays, the reporting of ratings was delayed quite a bit, so only yesterday did we get the actual ratings for Toonami for this week, and they are as follows. Dr. Stone at a 0.12, Dr. Stone at a 0.12, Dr. Stone at a 0.14, 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 Dr. Stone at a 0.13, Dr. Stone at a 0.12, Dr. Stone at a 0.11, and a rerun of Attack on Titan at a 0.10. Overall, this isn't explainable ratings. Like, I can't say much more than that in regards to it. You might be wondering, okay, why did it start increasing about an hour or so in? Well, if you remember that night, there was a big college football playoff game between Ohio State and Clemson. And if you follow college football, you'll know that that was pretty tight game throughout, and the ending was very action packed and very interesting. So a lot of people at 11 o'clock or so were still probably watching that game. So that explains why so many people were watching that and how the ratings, at least for early on in the block, got lower, and kind of why it started increasing afterwards, where the game ends and they decide, okay, let's tune into the Dr. Stone marathon. So that's how you get the bizarre rise in ratings at the end, at the middle there. But overall, even considering that, it was kind of a disappointing ratings week. A lot of people came into this week expecting Dr. Stone to outrate One Punch Man because One Punch Man doesn't do quite as well as Dr. Stone in the ratings, and Dr. Stone deserved being jumped in front of One Punch Man. But these ratings kind of paint a different picture, that maybe the reaction to Dr. Stone, especially the concept of watching old episodes, wasn't quite as strong as that for One Punch Man. Uh, yeah, and so it kind of is just, but again, not much to speak of. It's just a marathon week, so you can't really pull that many connections from that. But again, last night we had the first run of the current schedule happen. So on Tuesday, we'll hopefully get the ratings for that, and I'll report that to you when I get them. And hopefully they're good. So on to that, we had on our Adult Swim on Reddit. There was this poll that took last year about various questions regarding the block and regarding Toonami on from 2019, and kind of like what people's opinions are. And I like this because it kind of is like a nice feel on the pulse of what people are thinking of and what people are feeling on the block. So some pretty interesting things happened when you look at these in retrospects. One of the categories was for best streaming show. Adult Swim does a lot of this. Like, you have a lot of stuff like online only content, or sometimes content that's online but they air at like 4 in the morning sometimes. And the one that won was the Toonami Pre-Flight Show, which I believe streams every Friday, and it won by a fairly decent margin too, which springs to the popularity of Toonami, at least the Toonami subset fan base of Adult Swim. Now, let me pull up some other stuff here for a second. The first very notable question they asked, Toonami specific question, was, what is the best Toonami show currently on the air? And the winner of that was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, which, if you look at the ratings, you'd think is a bit of a surprise. But again, these types of polls tend to attract people who are diehard Toonami fans. So, like, the more casual people are just like, I guess I'll watch My Hero, I guess I'll watch Dr. Stone, and then aggressively ship Todoroki with Deku. You know, they're not necessarily voting on this, but the people who watch more of the block, who watch deeper into the block, typically do, which is why a show that late in the block with that much of a diehard fan base did win this vote. Although, to give credit, Dr. Stone and My Hero Academia were a reasonably close tie for second place. Demon Slayer was kind of on a different tier, lower than that in fourth, with One Punch Man currently being in fifth. One Punch Man being that low is probably because of the somewhat negative reception of this season. And then you have other shows filling out the bottom, like Black Clover, Food Wars, Fire Force, Attack on Titan, and Shippuden. kind of finishing pretty low on it, though. The next category asked was the best Toonami show that is currently off the air, and the winner of that one was actually Hunter x Hunter. Although although it did not win by that much of a margin, it only beat Diamond is Unbreakable by 4 votes. And I can understand that, especially with the episodes airing in 2019 being the heart of the Chimera Ant arc and the generally well received Chairman election arc, too. I can definitely see how it got that many votes, how it won this. Although I am a bit ashamed that Promise Neverland finished in fourth. Like a show that good, I thought should have definitely been in the top three. For the best, it's not even on the air right now, finishing behind, like, because it said Hunter x Hunter finished first, Diamonds Unbreakable second, Mob Psycho season one finished third, more on Mob Psycho in a second, actually, Promise Neverland in fourth. Then you have Dragon Ball Super in fifth, and then Lupin the Third Part 5 in a close sixth, which you're like, oh, it finished sixth. It finished poorly. Considering there were like 12 or so shows on this up for vote, I'm kind of happy that Lupin the Third did that well. Definitely beating out shows like Pop Team Epic, which I guess aired reruns this year. Boruto, more on Boruto in a second. Megalobox, who I honestly completely forgot had episodes in 2019. 2 Gundam shows, and then I like to thank the community that Genlock finished dead last in this behind 2 different Gundam shows. So, so at least I'm happy with that result right there. And now the next part asked was like, what would you want on Toonami? I'm not gonna say every single response because there were like 200 responses to this. But so I'm just gonna flash these up, like all the responses, and I'm just gonna mention like some of the shows that got mentioned quite a few times. Mob Psycho season 2 was mentioned quite a bit. Bringing back Boruto is mentioned quite a bit. Sword Art Online, War of the Underworld was mentioned a bit. Sword Art Online proper was mentioned quite a bit. Konosuba was mentioned quite a bit. And I actually voted on these things. I had to mention that earlier. But for what should air in Toonami, I was the one that put down, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Like, I know that the dub for season one is currently up, and the sub for the both seasons are up on Hulu. But at the same time, it's just one of those shows you just want to see how people react to it when it's on Toonami. Especially the whole interactions between Wollstonecraft and Belle Cronell, I thought would be pretty hilarious to see happen. And other ones were, of course, the all-time classic answer, hentai. What's the other one? Ghost Stories got mentioned a few times. And if you don't know what Ghost Stories is, they were dubbed in that weird magical time of the 90s when people couldn't figure out what this Japanimation thing was. So they have these massive localizations. And let's just say Ghost Stories brings new meaning to the phrase drop the Krispy Kreme and these pajamas make me look gay. Let's just keep it at that if you haven't seen it before. It's an experience. And of course also a lot of people mentioned bring back the old shows like Cowboy Bebop got mentioned quite a bit. You also have Yu Yu Hakusho, which is not going to happen because the entire show's up. Dub is up on Hulu right now, so that's not going to happen. Space Dandy got mentioned a few times, and I would actually be pretty game with that appearing in some form. Bleach got mentioned a few times. Sailor Moon got mentioned a few times. Ecchi got mentioned a few times. The original Dragon Ball got mentioned. People putting up My Hero Academia, even though it currently is on Toonami. Shield Hero got mentioned a few times. That's a show I'm honestly, you have to imagine they were in talks at some point to get Shield Hero, considering that show seems to be right up the alley of Toonami. And talking to that, Fairy Tail is mentioned a couple times here too. People mentioning Uzumaki, even though Uzumaki is gonna happen this upcoming year. Tokyo Ghoul Re was mentioned a few times. Vinland Saga was mentioned a couple times, although I'll be pretty game with Vinland Saga appearing. Let's see, other stuff here that was mentioned, like, notable amount of times. A lot of people mentioning My Hero Academia, even though it's already on the blog. Promise Neverland season 2. It's gonna happen, but it's probably gonna be like December when we get it, though. So it's quite a ways away since I think the sub is only going to start airing in October. So, yeah. And onward with some of the other stuff that questions that there's two other stuff that are Toonami related, but now some of the other questions that mention stuff that's general Adult Swim. It was like, what are you hyped for most in 2020? And by a country mile, it's Uzumaki. Like it's not even on the rate. It's above the radar. Like it's completely through the roof. And the second most is Blade Runner, which is not going to happen in 2020. That's going to be a 2021 thing. But still, Tsunami having the top two most hyped for events in the future of Adult Swim is pretty interesting. I have to question the souls of the people who answered Tim and Eric's beef house. Apparently, Tim and Eric are still doing stuff, even though they stopped being relevant about a decade ago. But eh, you know, and there was another question I'm not going to show here because I forgot to screencast it. But what another question was like, what was the biggest like issue? What was the biggest mistake made by Adult Swim this year? And the second highest answer was the glitch during Sword Art Online Alicization, which you can almost say was first because the number one answer was a gag answer, which is still not reviving Metalocalypse. If you follow Adult Swim and like the fan base around it, I'm kind of this meme about how poorly the block treated Metalocalypse toward its end and its quick cancellation on a cliffhanger and then just throwing like a 1 hour special together to like end the to like solve the cliffhanger, which a lot of people still kind of miffed about all this time. But again, I thought that was pretty funny. What do you guys think? What do you think was the biggest moments in Toonami in 2019? What was the best Toonami show? What was the worst Toonami show of 2019? And what are you looking forward to in this upcoming year on the block or on Adult Swim proper, for that matter? I am Super Orange Cat. If you want more content like this, please like this video. Please subscribe. Please hit that notification button. I am Super Orange Cat. And that is all.